from Brightliving. And this is a set of light bulbs that have sensors built in on the inside. So when the sun goes down, guess what happens? The lights turn on automatically on their own. And that means that now all of a sudden you have a smart home without the Wi-Fi. You didn't have to set it up with an app. In fact, it's super affordable, and the lights last basically for 20 plus years because they're over 25,000 hours. Amy D'Angelo, come on in. It is always great to work with you. You have been bringing us this brand for years now.
I was trying to think about that. I think it's almost 10 at this point.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
And the thing that I love about these is, by the way, they're also they're shatterproof. They're not going to shatter or anything like that.
Shatter resistant, love that.
Right? But what's really nice about these is the fact that for the first time ever, I now have a smartphone. Yep. I don't need to set up an Alexa this.
No.
I don't need to, right? There's nothing for you to do except screw in the light bulb and leave the lamp turned on.
That's all you have to do. And you know, I'm going to actually walk this way.
Yeah, we're going to show us how to use it.
And we're going to bring the lights down, which I love. But you no longer need these big, bulky fixtures around your home. You can use any fixture that you have in your home.
Yeah.
And there's a sensor built into that bulb, so when the sun goes down, the light will come on. When the sun comes up, the light will go off automatically. And that is what I love, because now you're not tied to an electrician coming and giving you a new fixture. You're not tied to, you know, what do I do?
Yeah, no.
This is your fixture.
Here's the thing, you get 4 of them for less than 20 bucks, right? You get a 4-pack. Now, there are 2 choices for color choices, right?
Yes.
So here is your bright white.
Your daylight.
Or daylight.
Yes.
And then this one over here is your soft light. Now, here's what I will tell you. Inside your house, you're going to want to use soft light in most of your areas, except for like a laundry room, the garage, maybe it's the basement.
The basement staircase.
That's where you want to use this daylight option, because that's where you'll see the most.
How about the attic?
Of course.
You bring down those steps and it's pitch black up there. This is going to turn on automatically.
Yeah. And I will tell you, my parents had those posts going up their driveway. And I remember, like, when I bought these for them and I sent them to them, my mother was like, it's the best thing ever.
I know.
Like, nobody ever has to remember to go and turn the thing on. Daddy didn't have to set a timer.
Nothing.
It's just so easy because there's a sensor built in. So let's talk about that for a second for our customers,
so,
please.
you know, I'm actually going to, we can bring the lights up for 1 minute. And then we'll bring them back down again. Our little friends are talking to us over here.
I know, our goats are over here.
Our little goats are right next to me and they're chatting to me. But all you're going to do is put your light bulb in the socket. It's that simple. Make sure that your light switch is in the on position. If it is in the on position, that sensor that's inside that bulb knows that when the sun goes down, the light comes on, and when the sun comes up, the light goes off. If your switch is off, you can control this manually, but you're not going to have that automatic sensor function, which is the best part of this light, I think. So it's an 800 lumen bulb, and I'm going to actually turn the switch on, and it's going to come on just to tell you that it knows it's on. And then we're going to actually bring the lights back down in the studio for us, and you will see that this will come on within a second.
On its own?
On its own.
By the way, did you even see how smooth it turned on? Like, it wasn't stark.
No.
It's like this beautiful glow. Now, these are LED, correct?
Yes, they are.
So tell us about that, because that just means that they last a long time. They don't use a lot of electricity.
No. So these are 800 lumen bulbs, so they're really bright. We're going to equate that to 800 candles, just to make it simple. But it only uses 9 watts of energy, and that's the most important part of this. So because it's only using 9 watts of energy, it's going to cost you like $1.08 a year to use this.
A year?
A year. And this bulb...
I appreciate that very much.
I know, I knew you would. And at 3 hours a day, this bulb, this bulb, this bulb, this bulb, and this bulb are each going to last 22.8 years.
Wow.
At 3 hours a day. So I love the fact, now if you leave the lights on longer, they'll last a little bit less.
Yes.
You don't turn them on all the time, they'll last more. But think about not having to turn on, not have to change a light bulb, get on a ladder and change that light bulb.
And you know, maybe you're not switching out every single light bulb in every single room of your whole house, but think about this, right? Like, if you have pets, Prince Charming, my little doggy, if the lights go down and I'm not home, or if the sun goes down and I'm not home to turn on the lights for him, he's in the dark, right? The light automatically turns on now on its own.
Correct.
And I didn't have to set a timer. You never have to worry about daylight savings. You never have to worry about anything like that.
We'll do that again. We'll bring the studio lights back up, and you will see that these are going to shut off automatically. And again, we're not home, and you know, we're on vacation.
Yeah.
Think about that. You put them in your home,
I
and if
love
you're
that.
away, it's a security thing because people think, oh, you're home, your lights are on.
I didn't think about that.
That was my mom's
smart
thing
idea.
all the time. She had a timer, and I remember you always had to adjust the timer, and it was a lot of work.
If the electricity goes off, the timer goes off time.
Right, it's a nightmare.
This is now effortless, it's easy, you don't have to program anything.
Nothing.
Because it's real-time reacting. At that sensor that's built in just says, hey, so let me ask you this. So if I have a lampshade, how does it work with like a lampshade?
Well, again, this is clear glass, but the glass that's over here is frosted a little bit. So it does work the same. It just takes a little bit longer to react.
Obviously.
Now, if it's a really dark shade, it may not allow that sensor.
Yeah. So try it out in your own home.
Hi, my friend.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that you can use any fixture in your home, and that's why I really love this, because these other fixtures, these are just big and bulky
And
if
ugly.
and kind of
No, let's
really
just say
ugly.
it. They're ugly. I don't want
Thank
this
you.
in my house.
don't hurt their
I don't want
feelings.
this in my house.
I
I'm
know.
sorry, I don't.
No,
I'm
but they're
sorry.
clunky,
I don't
for
want that
sure.
in my house either.
Yeah, so now you can use any fixture that you have in your home, whether it's a lamp, whether it's a hi-hat in your bathroom, whether, you know, I also put these in the hallway in the guest area.
Oh,
so if
good
I have
idea.
a guest coming over,
Yes.
they don't know you're home. If they get up in the middle of the night and have to go to the bathroom, this is going to come on.
Right.
So if we turn the lights back off, then this is going to, if we bring those lights back down, and we'll get to that in 1 second. Here
But
we
you
go.
didn't have to program anything. There's no app that it's attached to.
Nothing.
It's so smart.
And it did it.
Yeah.
And the three of us are standing here chatting. We didn't do
Yeah.
anything. The light switch is on. All you have to do is make sure that light switch is in the on position, and then you
you
just
light.
have to decide, do you want the soft light or the daylight?
So we'll show that to you right over here. So remember, you're getting a set of 4 no matter what you're choosing.
Yes.
Right over here, this is our daylight. It's, for all intents and purposes, a brighter, whiter
white,
light.
crisp.
Yes. And that's the one that like lets you see more. So I think of this as like utility spaces, garages, basements,
Yep.
attics, laundry room, mud room. Then the soft white, which is now off because the lights came on in the studio. That's the one that I would say for like your lamps in your home, by your bedside, in your living room and family room.
I have daylight by my front patio, and I have soft light on my back porch for ambiance.
See, that's
that's
nice.
sweet.
Yeah, what a
See?
great idea.
Very
Amy,
smart.
thank you so much.
welcome.
Amy,
Thank you,
it's always a
guys.
pleasure
See
to
you.
see you.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for being here. The 87622 is your item number. For less than $20 to be able to change 4 fixtures in your house out to be smart and sensor driven. I think that's so
a
genius.
smart home without the technology.
I love that. I love that. That's my choice. Ellie Carr, my dear.
They're sending us over to goats.